I'm just doing a sound check now. Can anyone who's out there hear me?
Yep,
This
I can
is
hear you.
I can
Great.
hear you.
Great. I just wanted to, I have everyone unmuted for now. So you all can tell me if I have made a mess of something. Hi, everybody. As people are joining in, what we'll do is we'll give people time to all join in, and then what I will do is I will mute everybody or ask everybody to put themselves on mute, and then we'll start. But for now, I've got everybody unmuted unless you want to mute yourself, so that if anybody has anything to say, or you want to chat amongst yourselves or tell me there's a problem, you can let me know. Just shout it on out there. Will do, Deanna. I'm showing you as muted. I'm just happy you're here. Hey, a little kid laughter can just add to the occasion. I think everybody knows what would happen is that the one time that one person unmuted themselves, their kid would come in and ask them to, help them go potty or something of the sort. That would be what would be next. We're going to give everybody just a few more minutes to join in, because I know we had a few people who are registered who aren't on yet. All right, we're going to give it just about one more minute. I know I have a couple people who are messaging me that are saying that they are adding themselves. Okay, Miss Veronice, if you're okay with it, I'll go ahead and get started. Are you all right with that? No.
Hello?
Hi, can you hear us? Okay, you're on. You're on with everybody. You're good.
Am I supposed to talk?
Yeah, we can. Well, here's what we're going to do now. So now that we're getting started, if everybody wants to go to the bottom left of their screen, you can mute yourself. So if everybody wants to mute themselves now, I'm not going to roll my cursor over there because I will accidentally mute myself. But if everybody wants to mute themselves, then there we go. And now, anyway, all right, I think we're good. So welcome everybody to positive goal setting during deployment. I know that we've got some more experienced spouses here that really honestly know how to do this, but my goal is hopefully to give an outline of a good way to present this to younger spouses. The next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to share my screen. So when I do share my screen, if somebody would let me know if you see my screen, that would be wonderful. And do you see my PDF with my positive goal setting during deployment? Let's see. I'll turn on the, oh golly. Okay. Does everyone see my screen? Yes, okay. Thank you. All right, thanks, Jenny. I appreciate it. So positive goal setting during deployment is just, it is really important to me. First, we'll give an overview. We're going to do a welcome. I'm welcoming, welcome to everyone now. I will introduce myself and then we'll talk a little bit about why we set goals, how to get started with your goals, some ideas maybe for people. Sometimes they just don't know what goal they want to set. and then kind of how to make it stick. I call it how to stick the landing. It's sometimes get in the middle of things, and that's where it gets really tough. And then some tips for not giving up. So now we will go on. So my name is Krista Dickens, and my husband, we have been married for 25 years. He has been in the Air Force for 22 of those years, almost 22, a couple months shy of that. And I have an incredible passion for working with young spouses, for trying to help them through this journey. When my husband first came home and said, I want to join the Air Force, I was like, whatever. But he wasn't kidding. And so we started, down this road. And for the first 18 months, all I could think of was, how can I move back to the place I want to live? How can I move back to North Carolina? And then I woke up one morning and realized that I was going to make myself miserable if I didn't just completely embrace this life. So I decided to. I have an amazing grandmother who's 95, whose husband left less than a year after they got married to go to World War II. And she and her mother basically, worked and supported her younger siblings while, everybody, all of the men were gone to war. And she would always say to me, I don't see how I could do what you do. And I thought back and I thought, I don't know how you did what you did. They didn't have time to worry about whether or not they were setting goals. All they had time to do was just live and survive. And so now we are in a day and age where it's a lot less about survival and more about, the length of time and the amount of deployments that people go through and the stress that can put on a family. And I think when the spouse or the significant other of the military member can kind of tackle that with just, a good attitude and some positive steps, it can make a huge difference for the entire family. So let's see. So I will go on. Okay. So why do we set a goal? Well, there are a few different reasons that I have kind of summarized that I think are the most important. Deployments are going to happen. There is absolutely nothing that we can do about it. They are just going to happen. We were at a squadron prep session one day, and a dear friend of mine said, I have a tip and I think we need to present it. And I said, okay, that's great. And she talked about the positive goal setting. She said she had another spouse tell her how important that was. And she said it made her second deployment so much easier than the first. And so it just kind of became our mantra, setting goals, doing hard things, telling yourself that there is something to look forward to during this time, to pass the time in a positive way. I know, just like me, all of you guys probably do not want to just deliberately have negative memories. My husband is actually deployed right now. He's gone on a 365. And at the end of this year, I want to be able to say I spent my time well, that I'm happy with my time and that my memories are good. More importantly, to give your military member confidence that you'll be okay. And I think that this is incredibly important for the brand new military spouse. There is this amazing blog called Confessions of a Mil Spouse. And it is, I don't know if any of you have ever seen this, but the lady who wrote it, her name was Marie Angela. And it was back in 2013, and it was entitled, I Love My Husband More Than You Love Yours. And I was told by like 8 different people, you have to read her story. And it is because it is hilarious and heartwarming and true all at the same time. She was a Navy spouse, and she talks about how she goes to the, being an Air Force spouse, this was a little bit of a learning experience for me reading this, but she goes to the to the departure area, and her husband's leaving, and she's crying and says, please don't leave me. And she sees this fear in his face, and she's got 2 small children, and she knows that he is so worried about her. And the next day she went to a gathering of the different spouses. And when they were all just talking about the things that they were going to do, they were so glad the deployment had started. They were just, glad that whole departure was over, and now they could get on with their lives, and their kids could get on with their days and all that. And this young spouse left, and she was just mortified at these horrible, horrible people who just did not love their military members at all. How could you be that callous? How could you feel that way? And then she says later how she realized that what they were actually doing was really more of a gift to their military member by, embracing life, even though they were gone. And so it's a really, really cute blog that I love to share. But I think the wisdom in it is amazing. And I think that, is one of the most important things in your personal goal setting, is that your military member can then go and, and do their job with great confidence that you have embraced something positive while they're gone. To create memories that will change how you look at military life after 22 years. There are so many people that are just frustrated with this life. I love this life. And if we do this for 10 more years, I'm great with it. So it just, it's making it what you can, making the best of it. And then another important thing is to have an engaging activity at that most difficult time each day, whether that's the first thing in the morning or last thing at night when the kids are in bed and it's quiet and you realize kind of how lonely it can be there with your thoughts, that you've got something to maybe engage your time and your energy. So, are there any, and you guys can go into the chat if you want to. If you have anything to say in the meantime, please feel free to make a point. I have got the chat open, so I'm watching if you have anything to say. So some tips on how to get started, especially if, like I said, I know we have some Key Spouse mentors here in the group. So if you want to, if you want any notes or anything like that for later, please just let me know and I'll be happy to email them to you. But these are just some tips that some other experienced spouses helped me put together that we talked about are the most important things. Pick a goal before your military member leaves. If you wait until they're gone, your choices may not be as maybe well thought through. You might be frustrated and have had enough. Those first 2 weeks sometimes can be really tough, and that may not be the time to decide that you're going to repaint your entire house or whatever goal that you may have going on. Anyway, it might be, you may come up with, I'm going to paint the entire house pink, and maybe that's not what you would have thought you would do, 3 months before they left. Have a why, not just a why, I want to finish this quilt that I've been working on, but a real why. What is this going to mean to you when you really get down the road, when it really is time to look back on what you've done. You have a why for why you did what you did. I will say savings goals are wonderful. And I think that I am all about budgeting and fiscal responsibility. And I am a total nerd who still loves to balance my checkbook. It's like a super exciting thing that I do almost every day. But, a savings goal is great, but that's for the family. This goal, do this in addition to your savings goal. Make it about you. You want something that's not too simple, but not impossible either. And also, I have heard other spouses say, you know, you want to emphasize safety. It's not really a safe idea to try to lose 100 pounds in 6 months. There was actually one spouse that talked about she knew a spouse that had tried to do that and made herself very sick. So you want it to be a healthy goal. Give yourself a goal to be proud of at the end so that you can look back and go, see what I did? You can look back on that 6 months and say, I know you were gone, but I managed to, build a deck onto the house, or I managed to do whatever it was that is your goal. I managed to read through this entire book series or whatever. And now you look back on it and you have a happy memory of that time. Really, honestly, the best stories come from experience, and lives are made up of stories. The most interesting people oftentimes have life stories that they're willing to share that we can learn something from. And you will come up with stories that, make great experiences. I've put together a list of a few goals that I have seen people try in the past. These are just a few suggestions, and they don't have any particular order of importance or anything like that. Taking a class, learning a language. I'm actually, one of my goals this deployment is I'm actually trying to brush up on my Spanish skills, which I won't try here because Berenice will just know exactly how terrible my Spanish skills really are if I do that. So, and then, take up a new hobby, start a small business. I have seen spouses do this, and, they have those evening hours when it's quiet and the kids are in bed and you're, prowling around the house because you really don't want to clean the bathrooms. You'd really rather do something that you enjoy doing, and maybe a small business is something to do then. Room makeovers, refinishing furniture, volunteering, somebody who wants to volunteer X amount of hours, start a blog. Actually, another one of my goals during this deployment was to blog, which I have been doing with the MSAN, and it has been so much fun. And those poor folks who are friends of mine that I talk to on a regular basis have to hear about my blog and how excited I am about the blogs that I am writing on a regular basis. Start a spouses group. If you don't have a spouses group in your unit, maybe get together a group, or it doesn't have to be with your unit. It can just be in your neighborhood. It can be an online group. Start a group to support others. Making new friends is always a great idea. The people who run triathlons, all I can do is bow down to you and say, just wow. But anyway, so those are just some ideas. I had someone say they learned a new computer language, or they took a class or something like that. One thing that I would caution everyone against is picking something that you just can't, you can't do, and then trying again to do it, like we talked about the weight loss before, but saying, I'm going to finish my master's. Well, and it's a 6-month deployment. Well, you're not going to do that. You're automatically going to set yourself up for failure. You can start it. Maybe you can do a few classes, but something, just don't set yourself up for failure. Don't give yourself an impossible task. Okay. How to stick the landing. So you'll see here, if you look at this list, a couple of these they look repetitive, but some of them have different meanings. Set a schedule. This isn't your daily schedule. This is your long-term schedule. If you want to run a half a marathon in 6 months, well, you want to be and you want to do it, say, 2 weeks before your military member comes home. Well, you don't want to still be doing your 2 to 3 mile runs 3 months in. You want to set a schedule for yourself so you make regular progression, where you have regular progression goals. Make sure you set a goal that you can accomplish, during the deployment time frame. We talked about that. So don't set yourself up for failure. Have an accountability partner or group, even if it is an online group. This is different than what we will talk about below here in the squadron, but having an accountability partner or group that's outside, that's your tribe, that are the people around you who love you and care about you. Involve them in your decision. Not necessarily your decision making, but your progress every day, because then there's somebody there cheering you on and also, holding you accountable if it's been a week and you just haven't picked back up that project that you were working on. Remember that you are completely worth the effort to make this goal a priority in your life. It's okay to do that. And I know most of us have kids. When my kids were little and my husband was deployed, I usually had a goal of some sort. And it's okay to tell the kids, mom has some things that she has to do right now. And so, that really is okay. Create a daily routine that sets you up for success. So this is the other part of the schedule. Oftentimes disorganization gets us more than anything. If you set a schedule, and that also helps communicating to your family, and your children that, from this time to this time, unless something is really going on or somebody's sick, this is what I'm going to be doing. And this is important to me. And it also gives you time every day to be alone with your thoughts and have some peace and quiet when, you may be the solo parent. And, I know that can get incredibly, incredibly chaotic. Reward yourself for the small steps and work towards a big reward in the end. So if you are making a quilt from every one of your child's favorite t-shirts from birth through 16 years, and you are making this quilt and it is a huge project and a huge goal. Yes, the quilt is going to be beautiful at the end, but give yourself something else. Have some sort of other reward that can be you giving yourself an attagirl or an attaboy. That is really, really important. It can keep you motivated, and I think we forget to do that for ourselves sometimes during deployment. We just want to put our heads down and just slog through, but give yourself a reward, because you're doing this while you're handling all the other parts of life by yourself. If you are part of a unit or a squadron that doesn't have, a Facebook page or a communicating group of some sort, maybe start there, because if your military member is deployed and if it is a unit deployment and the other military members are deployed, there are probably other spouses that are pretty frustrated and maybe could, use your support as well. And sometimes supporting other people is the best way to get through something in a positive way. And most importantly, if you didn't accomplish anything today, whatever, start again tomorrow. Don't punish yourself for missing one day. That's not helpful. It totally backtracks on the rewards that you should be giving yourself. Everybody has a day. One of the small children smeared poop on the wall and the dog tore the rug and you got a flat tire and all these things happened and it just didn't happen today. That's okay. You can start again tomorrow. Keep yourself motivated by helping to motivate others. That's back kind of to the unit participation. Doing kind things for others, I think, is just sometimes can be the best motivator. And I have found that the most positive spouses are the kindest, are the ones who reach out to others and just, try to make the lives of others really positive. When you feel like giving up, and oh, don't we always, sometimes we just feel like giving up. What goals have you accomplished successfully in the past? Every one of us has done something successfully in the past. Really look back and assess, how did you do that, whatever it is? Whether it was, planning your wedding or, making it through school or unpacking your house. Golly, Pete, any of us who have ever unpacked a house deserve a medal first. Secondly, how did you do that? You did it somehow. There were methodical steps that you took, even if you didn't realize it subconsciously that you were doing that at the time. Go back and look at those steps. How do you work best? You know, maybe you're a turn the music on person. Maybe you're I have to have a set schedule. Maybe you're, I have to get up really super early in the morning person. Whatever that is, go back and figure out what made you successful in the past and do that. Reminders and routines, set an alarm, write it down, you know, tell your, if you have an Echo or a Google, I don't know what the Google Home device is, you know, and have it yell at you. Mine tells me things all day. It also yodels, by the way. The Amazon Alexa thing yodels. If none of you knew that, I just figured that out the other day. It's really funny. So, rewards, do not scoff the power of that reward. Just, you know, losing, you know, just if you have a number of pounds you want to lose, or finishing that quilt is great. But again, you have to give yourself a reward. There will be times when just getting everyone dressed and fed will be overwhelming. And when those days come, just let that be enough. Just let it be enough. And I think, so then I was going to just go into, because you know, that really is most of what I had to say. So I'm going to show the questions real quick, and then I'm going to go back to the screen. I will unshare my screen, but you know, do any of you have any goals that were, you know, maybe say it in the chat here. What a goal that you are the most proud of during deployment, or what is your biggest fear of an impending deployment? Or, you know, do any of you have any, you know, comments or other questions, or, you know, maybe how to go out and promote this with younger spouses? Nobody? I'm accidentally drawing on my screen. I don't know if you all can see it. No. Nope, nobody? Nobody had a goal? Let me see. All right, I'm gonna go back to my
Hello,
here. Hello, who have I got?
Tanya.
Hi, do you have any questions or you know, fears? I know you guys, everyone, for those of you who don't know Tanya, the squadron that her spouse is in is getting ready to deploy soon. So she is trying to set everybody up for success.
Yeah, well, a past goal I had was to start building things, and it was definitely out of my comfort zone because I had to work with power tools. But, you know, I found that, you know, when I started working with power tools, I was like, wow, this is actually pretty fun. So what I learned is that things that were, you know, generally intimidating to me, or just something that I thought, oh, no, girls don't do that. When I got right down to it, I was like, wow, this is actually kind of easy and I'm enjoying this. And, you know, so several formal and large dining tables later, I have built several significant pieces of furniture that are in my house right now. So, you know, it's, yeah, that's one goal that I set for myself. And I'm pretty fond of how it has evolved over the years, and very proud of that. So now I have something that, you know, we're coming up on our ninth combat deployment, and, you know, I know that there is something that I can do that I will find enjoyable during that time. So definitely, yeah, just get out of that comfort zone, and, you know, whatever your stereotype or thought process is about something that, you know, you might not have thought you could do before, just try it and see. You might surprise yourself.
That is awesome. Oh, and I do have to say, one of my goals is to collect as much of Tanya's furniture as I can, because her furniture is beautiful. So, yeah, and she is very, very good at it. And so that is awesome. That is awesome. So Jenny, do you mind if I share your goal? It's showing that it's coming to me privately, and I don't know why it's coming to me privately, but is it okay if I share your goal, Jenny? Okay. She said during her husband's last deployment, her goal was to learn as much as she could through Army community service classes as she could get. She was able to take almost every single class and learned a lot. Wow, are those like community service, like what kind of classes, what type of things did you learn? That's amazing. I love that. That is an amazing goal. I would love to know what you learned. And I can tell you all some of the goofy military knowledge 101. Oh, I would love that. Leadership. Wow. That's awesome. And they offered all of those classes and they were free classes, huh? That's amazing. Why wouldn't you do that? That's awesome. I love it. I absolutely love it. That is great. That is really amazing. I absolutely love that. My goals this time, I told you I am renewing my, trying to renew my foreign language skills. I do have a weight loss goal that I'm working on. Oh, every branch has their own version of that. Really? I am so going to find out what the Air Force version of that is, Jenny. My whole world has changed today. I love it. You have totally made my day. I absolutely love it. Okay, I'm so finding that out. And I guess that maybe there are classes I've seen advertised and I just didn't realize what it was. Well, I am so doing that. Well, and then I am blogging, and then I am, what else am I doing? I have a couple of workout goals, and then I do have a savings goal. I always have a savings goal every time. And then my other goal is to teach my naughty beagle to stop running away. That's probably my most challenging goal. But my kids are out of the house, so I know that makes goal setting a lot easier than it does for some others. And anyway, does anyone else have any, goal setting? And does anyone have a unit that they need to take this, that they need to take it back to, and they need the slides? If you do, just in the chat, just put your email address and I will make sure that you get it. Are there any other questions or comments or, things that, if I ever talk about the subject again, you would like to see added? Anybody? No? For any of you who may not know, my mom very kindly added on today, and she's like Mary Poppins, practically perfect in every way, but I am not. So if any of you do have any, have anything that if I ever discuss this subject in a blog you'd like to see changed, just, please feel free to let me know. Yeah. Well, thank you. I appreciate that. You guys are kind. So, well, and I know this was a much shorter webinar than some other times, but we made it through, and I had some notes, and I pretty much made it through all of them. So, yes, I will absolutely send the slides. I will absolutely send the slides, and you can. And I'll send them to you. I will try to send them to you in document form so that you can edit them and, add some things to it if you want to instead of just the PDF. So, but anyway, well, if that's it, I think that is all I have for the evening. And I hope that you feel like it was worth your time. And, oh, good. Yes, I will definitely, Dan, I will definitely send those to you as well. Oh, you need a joke. Okay. Oh gosh. Actually, one of you may already know this joke, but this was the best. A couple of you may know this, but this was the best one that I saw yesterday. Why are there why are there no knock jokes about America? Because freedom rings. It's the best I can do for today. Nothing. Oh, well. Anyway, why was the koala so upset that he's not considered a bear? He had all the qualifications. Anyway, it's the best I can do. Oh, goodness. Well, I hope that you guys got something out of this. And I know here's the thing is that the people here are probably the people that need to hear this, the least, probably the people that handle deployments the most gracefully. But hopefully, if we can help one person make their military spouse journey easier, then I think that any amount of time that we can spend is worth it. So anyway, well, thank you very much to everyone. And ladies, those of you who asked for the slides, I will get it to you. I'm going to put it in document form first, and then I'll send it to you both. Okay, Jenny, absolutely. If you will give me your email address, then I will send it to you. So absolutely. Oh, that's the best email address I've seen in a long time. That is outstanding. That is great. Well, thank you so much, everyone. And I hope everyone has an excellent evening. Oh, you guys are so welcome. It has been just an absolute pleasure. I'm just glad you could see the slides. I was fearful that I wouldn't be able to make that happen all day long. So anyway, but all right. Well, have a good one, ladies, and we will talk to you soon.